Hello again, good friends. Welcome, new subscribers. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. In your emails, you guys bring up some great topics to touch upon here on the channel, and I'm going to honor some of those. We'll start with this one here, which has been a great common question lately. Pad choice. What pads do I use for certain situations? So I'll bring you a series, and we're going to start with the first one today. We're going to cover soft clear coat. What I'm going to share with you my thought process as we're walking up to a vehicle with soft clear coat that has blemishes to remove, and the pads that we want to choose to remove them. I'll follow that up with moderate hardness. We'll follow that up with something that's stubborn and has hard clear coat. We'll also follow that up with single stage finishes. So I value your time as much as mine. Let's get out into the shop and cover the first subject, which will be pad choice for softer clears. The newer Land Rovers and Range Rovers, the clear coat, soft as butter. So this has been washed, it's been decontaminated, it's been clayed, all that jazz. What we have left over are stains and some light scratches, some swirls, and just overall dullness. It needs to be brought back to life a little bit here. On the side of the car, you can really see the swirls, quite dominant on the doors and the back quarter panel here as well. But that's not all we have to take care of. About a quarter of the car has the black piano finish, and that's plastic trim on the A, B, C pillars and down around the bottom of the car as well. That's clear coated, but not quite as hard as the clear coat. It's even softer. Even the badge, the Land Rover Discovery, is black piano finish. All the accents, the grille as well. The first time I laid eyes on the car, writing out the estimate, I already knew what pads I was going to choose, and that comes with experience, guys. So I picked out a few. The reticulated, the non-reticulated. Reticulated means porous, and if it's porous, that means it has low density, and if it's low density, that means the pad will run cooler. So it would be great if the reticulated pad would work on this. But what we're going to do is we're going to take care of the black piano finish, the trim. We're going to tape everything off, all the rubber and the seals, so we don't bump our pad up against it. And we're going to take care of that first. So we're going to grab the 3-inch polisher, and what I picked out for that is a microfiber polishing pad. And the polishing pads that are microfiber usually have the black foam. If they're cutting pads, they will have either blue or orange foam. That's how you can tell them apart. We're also going to use the 3D1. I've reviewed and featured that in past videos. This stuff is absolutely great. I'm using it a lot. I have a lot of uses for it. This is a one-step, so it has some cutting ability, but can really finish. And we're going to find out if this team here will work on the black piano finish on the B pillar. I'm just going to do one side and give you a sample, and we'll see how it turns out. Choosing the right pad to correct finishes such as this, a little bit easier than clear coat, guys. Clear coat varies in hardness from make to model. The finish on this trim here is rather consistent from car to car, and you really only have to then rely on what you see in damage to pick from 2 or 3 pads. If it's something that has heavy, deeper scratches like we have here, I go with the microfiber polishing pad. If the blemishes are lighter, you can choose from a foam, white, or blue polishing pad. Less aggressive. When the polisher gets out of the way, you're going to be able, using the shop light, to see we already have a huge difference from the one part of the B pillar here to the other part. A nice turnaround, and this is indeed what we're going to need to remove those deeper scratches on the pillar and get it ready for protection. We're going to turn this soft finish here into a nice 9H or 10H hardness on the pencil scale by adding a ceramic coating. Pressure and speed? Well, pressure, not much really. You only see one of my fingers on top of the polisher applying pressure down onto the panel. And speed, that would be mid speed for me. That's a common speed I use for correction. 3 or 4, the speed dial setting, depending on what polish you have. So let's remove the residue. And when you're correcting trim like this, make sure you have a quality microfiber with no edges so you don't re-scratch the area and have to go back over it again. One side corrected, and now two sides corrected, and we can move on. The smaller areas, like the next pillar we're going to get to here, I'm going to break out a smaller polisher. We're going to tape off, again, the rubber seals and the rubber grommets so we don't bump up the pad against it. Here we have the extension for the rotary. This is the little nano polisher, and this is the yellow or the white foam polishing pad I was speaking of before. I went with the yellow because the polisher is smaller. The white would be a little bit harsher, and I don't think we need quite that much aggression. So we're going to go with the yellow polishing pad. We're going to apply again the 3D1 and get to work. In addition to a nice quality microfiber to remove the residue on this type of trim, pressure is going to be light. I'm going to make quite a few more passes than normal, but I'm not going to apply a lot of pressure when I'm removing this residue. And as you can see, the scratches, the marring, I might have to go over the area one more time. If I wipe off my lens here in the camera, we can get a nice clean shot. And as you can see here, it looks a lot better. All right, so after all that plastic trim is finally polished the way I want it and out of the way, we can get to the clear coat. This is just about day 3 already. Guys, it takes me 3/4 of a day just to wash these things bumper to bumper and get them perfectly clean the way I want them, decontaminated and ready for correction. So what we're going to do is a quick 50-50 shot on this door. I picked the green pad, which is perforated, which means it has pores. And if it's pores, that makes the pad less dense. Air can rush through the pores quickly and will keep the pad and the surface and the clear coat cooler. So if this pad choice teamed up with the 3D1 removes those swirls, we're going to be good to go. We're going to have a nice cool panel during correction. Not a lot of clear coat will be removed, and we just didn't use a lot of aggression. Pressure here, moderate, like a firm handshake for the first pass. Then I ease back up on the polisher. Again, speed, mid-speed, third or fourth speed setting, depending on your polisher. I'm not going to edit this section of the video, getting a close-up shot. I may speed things up a little bit through just to keep the video short, but I want to give you an idea using this pad and this compound on this clear coat, how long and how many passes it would take to remove that type of damage. You'll notice, and it's something I like to do while correcting, it's actually a little bit more light than I usually have if I'm not filming or capturing video. I like to have the lights down low except for 2 lights on either side of me, my 2 shop lights. This little guy here, and then I have 2 Huskies on a stand that I like, and I'll surround myself with those, turn the shop lights off, sometimes completely, and I can focus on the little area I'm working on here. Okay, I believe that's going to do it. We did, like a crisscross pattern. We did two passes. We did a pass up and down, and then we did a pass left to right. So let me remove the residue here, take off the tape, and then give me a minute to grab the camera, bring you guys in close. Okay, so what we could bring to light here is what we didn't see today. We didn't see a cutting microfiber, an aggressive cutting microfiber. We didn't see a wool pad. We didn't see a hybrid pad, wool or foam. What we did use was a soft polishing microfiber pad and other soft foam polishing pads, nothing aggressive. Okay, guys, so that was my thought process as I walk up to a car that I know has soft finishes. The soft clear coat combined with the piano finish on the A and B and C pillars and pretty much all the trim completely around the car there. So if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Obviously, the pad choices for something like that are going to be something that's really not aggressive at all. So we're going to follow this up with something a little bit harder, some moderate hardness, some more common vehicles, and we'll follow that up again with stubborn hard clear coat. And then I'll even show you my thought process for pad choice when we go and correct single stage paints. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. Catch you in the next video.